Welcome back. We're continuing our discussion with UNC professor, no, astronaut, Jim Kitchen. I'm sorry I'm in awe, but I, like you, grew up in awe of people who have done what you have done. I want to get into the flight and all that. I just retrace just a little bit. Mm-hmm. You applied to Blue Origin. There have been a lot of flights. How is it that you ended up on that flight?
So I'm an entrepreneur.
Mm-hmm.
I see things entrepreneurially, and I looked at Blue Origin versus Virgin Galactic, and I made a decision that I want to put all my eggs in that basket. Why? Because like Alan Shepard, who had launched in a rocket, I wanted to do something very similar to that. Now, we weren't going to go to the altitude that Shepard went, which was 100 and something miles. Blue Origin's launches go to roughly 50 or 65, 66 miles. But I wanted the experience, the full experience of sitting in a rocket and blasting off,
yeah.
right? So Virgin Galactic did not have that at the time, and it would have taken me roughly 5 to 10 years to do that. And so I contacted Blue Origin maybe a dozen times, maybe 25.
100, whatever.
And then I showed up for a launch. They were doing unmanned launches, and I showed up and I emailed somebody and said, hey, I'm here. I'm going to watch the launch from the road. And they're like, wow, okay, we have another place that you can watch it. And I made some friends, and I continued. So I watched that unmanned launch, and then I continued to work those people that I had met at that launch and that I had met through other various, through LinkedIn, et cetera, connections. And I said, I want to go, and I want to go. And so I actually registered for the auction for the first seat to go with Jeff and Mark Bezos. But that went for $28 million. Didn't have
steep. Yeah.
Didn't have. I'm a teacher from North Carolina. I didn't have $28 million, nor did I have $55 million to go with SpaceX. But I had put my hat in the ring to go. I registered for the auction, and again kept working it. I want to go, and so this past December, I got a call a couple days after Christmas, and they said, if you want to go in the next launch, you're in. And I didn't know what weak need meant, but I found out pretty quickly because I could barely stand. I was so excited.
Oh, I can imagine.
And then there I went, 4 months later, roughly 4 months later.
Oh, what an incredible story. And Pete Davidson was going to be on the flight.
He was
What
announced
happened?
for
Heart
3
surgery?
days.
What happened?
It was funny because when Pete Davidson was announced, there were mixed reviews. The adults in the room were like, ooh, we don't know if we want Pete Davidson to go, but I got extra cred points with my students at UNC.
Oh, I bet you did.
And my kids thought it was really cool. They were like, Dad, this is going to be a good thing for you. This was my dream to go to space. And, Pete Davidson was not synonymous with that, living that
or
dream.
Captain Kirk.
Or Kim, or, Kim Kardashian. But that lasted for 3 days. And, rumor has it that who knows what happened to him.
Things happen.
Think things happened. He canceled or chickened out or whatever the word was. Rumor has it that, but I don't know for sure. Nor would I really care.
Great disappointment, I'm sure.
Yeah, big disappointment.
Let's go to something. I want to get to this because we have footage as well, and I want people to see this. We'll get into maybe some of the training and that later, but the exciting stuff is sitting in that capsule. Mm. And in fact, I'm taking a flight this weekend. I wish I had that kind of legroom. That is a sweet capsule, Jim. Tell me about it. You're in the capsule. What's it like?
So it seats 6 people. Nice, comfortable seat. You lay flat, like so. Your head is back. You're basically horizontal. Okay, and they teach you to get in and out of that seat about 25 times. And you're like, why are they teaching us how to do this? We all know how to buckle a seatbelt. Well, it's a 5-point harness. And you've got to do that because getting it back into your seat at 0 gravity can be a lot more difficult than it looks.
Sure.
Nice, spacious cabin, big windows. So next to your seat, there's probably a 4-foot window, which comes in really handy at 65 or 66 miles above the earth, where you can see that whole scene outside. Plenty of room to float. I wouldn't say plenty. There are 6 people in the capsule, but enough room to float and just see out, multiple vistas through those incredible windows. Right in the center of the capsule it looks like an island where you would put your hands, everyone can sort of gather themselves there. That's not the functionality of that island. That's actually an escape motor in case anything goes wrong. Most people don't know this. In case anything happens at launch or during launch, that it can actually it will propel you away from the rocket booster at roughly 12 Gs, or many hundreds, if not thousands of miles per hour. So there's some functionality. When you see this big thing in the middle of the capsule, that's what that is. It's the escape motor.
I saw you and the rest of the folks with you. And just briefly, who are all these people? Like you, individuals who wanted to fly?
Yes, there were entrepreneurs. There was a gentleman from the FAA who had overseen commercial space travel for the last 25 years, so he was instrumental into the growth of space travel. But a lot of people like me that were just very persistent and really wanted to go to space.
Well, you're sitting there, and it's dark in the capsule at this point. Mm-hmm. You can see the sun come up, and it's in the face of some of the folks that are there. And then you finally got the go. You're going to go. And there was a moment of excitement that was going to happen. But okay, be honest with me, Jim. What are you feeling at this point? Now you're really going to go.
Yeah, there was no fear.
None.
Because we had been delayed roughly 4 or 5 times, and there was this sense of excitement that we wanted to go. So zero fear, 80% excitement, and just utter denial that when the countdown was happening, it was like 10, 9, 8, and there's like, wow, oh my gosh, I cannot believe after 50 years this is actually getting ready to happen, and then you're off. So there was really no time for being apprehensive.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, wow!
We're going to space!
Come on, baby! Oh my God! Oh my God! What a ride!
Started.
Oh my God.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh!
This is incredible.
Oh my
Love
gosh!
the spin.
Oh my gosh! Come on! Come on, baby!
Gosh. Supersonic. Whoa.
Hubert Davis, when he was coaching against Duke in the Final Four, he was not fearful. He was in the moment, right? So the rest of us were like, biting our fingernails. But there was no fear at all at that point. Now, I know the rest of you watching this were like, please don't blow up.
Well, yes,
that's
nice
because
sentiment.
when I watched the first 3 launches, I was thinking the same thing, and that's a vestige of what happened with Challenger. So that was a big part of my life as well, because I was promoting space travel, and I saw Challenger blow up, and that was a big event, and it's it's still in the memories of many of us.
Absolutely. Now, everybody counted down, down to 1, and you take off. What's that like? What does that feel like, Jim?
So when it took off, it says right above, before you get on, let's light this candle. That was a reference to Shepard.
Yes.
And when it actually lit, the entire capsule was orange inside. And it looks like everything's, and they tell you this ahead of time, that it is going to appear as if the capsule is on fire. Now, you can be told that, but you don't quite understand it until you see it, because it's bright orange, and you're like, you can see the flames outside. You're thinking, all right, I think everything's okay. And then it takes off. And if you've ever been in an electric car and you've gone from 0 to 60 in 3 seconds, and your face just, wow, your head's pinned against the seat rest. That's what this is like, from 0 to 2,300 miles an hour.
Wow, don't go anywhere. Does he make it back? I think you know the answer to that. We're going to come back and we're going to continue our discussion with astronaut Jim Kitchen. Stick around.